All right, my name is Jared Duggar, and my article that I found for Sexuality in the News concerns Senator Cory Booker and Mike Pompeo, who's currently the director of the CIA, but he's been nominated to be the Secretary of State. And last week, during his confirmation hearings, Senator Booker asked him a question very directly, very clearly, and specifically about how Mike Pompeo feels about gay marriage. And even though he didn't specifically say that I'm opposed to it or that I think it's an abomination, he did say that he had clearly made that statement previously when he was a politician, which is, I mean, I'm not sure how that works because you're getting nominated to be the Secretary of State. You're currently it's a really fine line between politician and public servant, but you're still a politician in my eyes, anyway. Um, Yeah, so he said he had stated that before and that it was out there, but he wouldn't actually say it in his confirmation hearings, which is probably bad news because saying something that recent before you get nominated, you're going to sway some other votes, I think, too. But regardless, when this came up, Senator Booker said immediately that he would not vote to confirm Pompeo for Secretary of State, which, that's good. I'm not sure it's going to do much given our current political climate and Republican majority in both houses, and it's just a circus up in D.C. nowadays, so it's probably not going to have much effort or much impact on what happens. A single vote from a Democratic senator, but at least it made the news and got people thinking, including some of these conservative Christian news organizations, which rightly pointed out that the text of the Constitution, Article 4, says you cannot put a religious test for any public office. Now, the way I see it, yes, for the letter of the Constitution and what it says right there, Senator Booker did violate that. He basically, asked, well, not specifically in the context of religion, but just in general asked how he felt. He knows Pompeo had cited that as his religious beliefs before, so yeah, it's very close, but he did basically put a religious test on it. Now, my thought is that if this had been someone who is up for a confirmation for Secretary of State, and they religiously believe that, for instance, it's pork is unclean, and I won't eat pork. But you put them, say, as the director of the EPA or as the chief administrator at NASA. As long as they're doing their jobs and they're not making decisions differently with people who do eat pork, what's the big deal? I mean, you can ask them, if you'd ask them that question, do you like bacon cheeseburgers? No, I don't, because I don't eat pork. Oh, well, I mean, technically that's a religious test. But as long as you're not, biased against people who do eat pork, and it's the same thing. I mean, whatever Pompeo believes about gay marriage or, gay sexuality, if he is, as he said, as dedicated to treating gay couples in the CIA and anywhere else with the level of respect they deserve, just person to person, then there shouldn't be an issue. And you're only going to find out if he does get nominated and fills that position. I thought it was interesting too, just in closing, that Senator Booker went to Facebook and put a big rant on here. It seems to me that if you're putting a big rant on your own Facebook page about how you're going to take a stand and not vote for somebody to get confirmed for some key position, then you're probably trying to make publicity. It's probably not going to, I mean, I don't know how long Pompeo's been directing the CIA. It's probably just been a hot minute since Trump was elected. I'm not even sure what his background was or his previous positions, but, unless he's been called out before with some serious violations, discriminating against, gays or anyone else in the workplace as a supervisor, Booker is just making a bunch of noise. But I do like what he said at the very closing of this article. Concerning Pompeo, he said, look, Pompeo and I are both Christians. We believe in the ideal and mandate to love thy neighbor, and there are no exceptions to this. So, at the end of the day, if Booker is sticking by what he just said, and if Pompeo is actually a strong, diehard Christian, they should both be able to get along and work in Congress and work in government together, and not treat gays or anyone else differently or discriminate against them. So I just thought it was very interesting how the question of someone's sexuality comes up with equality and discrimination in the workplace. For me, just like I said, it doesn't matter if you're Christians or not, and it doesn't matter who you are, what your beliefs are. If we are professionals in a workplace during working hours, we should all be treating each other with respect, and there's no exceptions to that. And if you're not doing it, you're wrong. So we'll see if that's what Pompeo can do, and whether Booker votes for him or not, it's probably going to happen. So we'll find out in the next few months.